Whenever we think of having a pet, we always come to the conclusion of getting a dog. And at some point or the other, almost everyone has had some relation with them, direct or indirect. Dogs in general have a strong connection with humans. There has been innumerable moments that depict the relationship between humans and dogs. They are believed to be the first animals to be domesticated by humans, which happened about 36 to 15,000 years ago. And since then, dogs have been a part and parcel of our everyday lives. People who want a dog can get one that they like, from dogs that are no taller than your ankle to dogs that are hulking behemoths. And having a dog is seen as bringing in a new family member into the house. But nowadays, the pedigree of a dog in today's society is seen as a social symbol, as some of the more refined breeds are priced as high as 1 lakh. A person will always want a pet in their lives, be it if the person is rich or poor. They always want one. But the more wealthy the person is, they will always go for a dog that is hot in the market. One example is the craze that happened in 2009 with a Vodafone ad that had a pug in it. This one pug made a huge boom in the industry. People flocked to their nearest pet shops to get one of their own pug. There were even people that went as far as to getting the same offspring of the dog that was presented in the ads. Though there was a huge boom, there's a darker side to this. Most of the commonly and popular dogs that are bought are also the most commonly found to be abandoned on the streets. One prime example of this is Labradors, who are the most abandoned dogs in India, alongside pugs. But most of these dogs do get rescued by some local animal shelter. Though people love to buy a pet because they want a dog to their liking, there are dogs that don't even get a good meal to taste. Street dogs. They're always stigmatized and are thought to be filthy and dirty because they're usually found next to some garbage bin or some sewer. But they don't do this because they like it. They do this because of necessity. They do this because they need to eat. And for dogs that are mothering pups, they have to do this for them. But as humans, we never bat an eye to them. We think of them as lowly animals that, if approached, will attack us, as they look ferocious. But most of these dogs might not even get to live a full life, as they are plagued by the element. And though there are people that do care for them and do try to help, most of the time it's simply not enough. But there are a few other people that are willing to make a change, make it their life goal to give these animals a new life, to educate the public, and to give these dogs a new home. And one such animal shelter is Save Animals India, an organization that's run by Surya Singh and his wife. They started this organization in 2015 and now have amassed about 125 dogs in their shelter. They take care of all these dogs by themselves, along with the help of one worker. So, I went up to the shelter and asked him a few questions.
You see, first of all, what every day we come across is cruelty towards animals. That is especially the dogs. There are people, those who want to feed, those who want to take care in the streets and all. But those such kind of people are also being harassed by the people, those who don't like dogs. But these people don't try to understand the dogs are the main, wherever the dogs are, those areas are secured. People forget this, or either they don't want to accept this. They say because they bark at night, they shout at night, they fight at night, and they have sleepless nights. So people are having sleepless nights. But they should accept this also, because of their barking, because of their being alert on the nights. There is no thefts, no burglary, or any such kind of activities, illegal activities doesn't happen there. Now that is the more concerned thing, because people need education about this. See, as per my feeling and belief, and it is a fact also, animals are the part of this earth and the environment. Until unless we don't, be serious in taking care of the environment and the animals, then our lives are going to be very horrible. Because without them, the planet, the earth, it's unstable. the stability comes with along with these animals and the environment and all. And especially see, dogs are the most, what you I call it as more, I'm forgetting that word. I usually have that word for the dogs, especially for the dogs. They are very, very, very. They never forget you, and whatever you do for them, for feeding them, taking care of them, they never forget you. They are the most loyal. I believe they are the most loyal animal, the dog, and uh, and anywhere you go, just you feed once. You may forget the dog. You fed it. After a few days, you're going. It will come to you. It will come to you. It will wag its tail and it will remind you that once you had fed me. So this is the difference between we humans and the animals. We humans, we do as much for our community, our things, but there are some ego problems will be there. The other many things are there, but animals don't have that. See, more than food, they need love, they need care. So keeping this in mind, only always I am in deep thinking and in deep pain about them. Why not? They could be considered now. Especially people are fond. See, there are people call themselves animal loving, but they buy pedigree dogs. That is breed ones, but I don't consider them as animal loving people. They hate these Indies, our Indian dogs. They hate them. When the breed dogs, when they buy, paying 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, just to have a prestige, showing their neighborhood that I have particular such kind of breed, and again they are prone to diseases, breed dogs, because they come from different climatic conditions. People have brought such kind of paying huge amount and they bring here and they make all arrangements for them, like suppose a husky, for an example. Husky lives in cold areas. Their climatic conditions cold, they need very cold. Indian climatic condition doesn't suits them, so they make arrangements like having AC room and all, keeping them inside. Such kind of different breeds are there, and they are prone to diseases. You need to be very careful of those ones. We just came down here just 4 years back. When it's been 4 years now. Before that, I used to be in rescues. So during those rescues only, I used to visit many shelters. And I used to see they too go through a lot of problems. Shelter people also, they too go through, because they don't have much place to accommodate them. And many times I was refused also. We don't have place. So we have to always beg, folded hands beg and request them. Now, what to say? You need more. You need to have a lot of patience. You need to have a lot of courage. You need to be very strong in running a shelter. And our view of running a shelter is entirely different than others. Most of the shelters are on the mercy of the staff. Workers, staff, doctors, nurses, whoever there, they are on the mercy of them. And these are speechless. They cannot speak. They cannot narrate their problems, what they are going through. And they are left in their conditions. But here, me and my wife, even though if we appoint staff, but we don't leave them on the mercy of our staff workers. We make sure that each and every one has been taken care. We now have our 120 plus in our shelter. We make sure each and every one eats properly and has been taken care properly, and the hygienic conditions are maintained, cleanliness. We didn't have any much experience running a shelter, but they taught us what we need, how you can take care of us. So, for example, any one pet, particular time it doesn't eat food, then we come into action. So immediately we come into action, check his fever, temperature, and see that if it has got temperature. So at that moment there is no doctor here with us. By the time the doctor comes, we give that all whatever the possibilities, medicines, first aids, and all we do. Then the doctor is called. They are the most need of help, because once they are run over by any vehicle, two things happen. Either they are completely, their legs get fractured, broken, the bones are broken. The second thing, their spinal cord gets this. And once the spinal cord is gone, so they are completely handicapped and paralyzed. So they cannot move around. If they move around also, they are all the body, their legs and all, they get hurt. It gets completely wounded while they are, pulling themselves. So such kind of are the most needed help. So we pick up them only. Now we are very much strict. Wherever we find, we pick it. I pick it up and bring it, or anybody finds. I welcome such kind of pets here, and we love to serve them. We love to take care of them because they need help. No, see, it's a woman error only, because the world is in a very fast speed mode, right? For an example, suppose I'm driving a vehicle, I will be very careful seeing that any human is met with an accident through my vehicle, because I know the concerns about that, the results. I will get into trouble, I will be sentenced. But people know that killing an animal, any dog or any animal comes, the least bothered. Very few cases have happened where they tried to save the dog and they are themselves met with accident and died. There are very few cases happened. But most of the cases on the roadsides, these during summer seasons, they are thirsty. They try to cross the road in search of water or something. At that time they meet with accident. The vehicles run over. Or hungry, search of food, they cross from here to that side, then they are met with accident. The vehicles, the car, four-wheelers, those, they are not lesser than 80 to 100 speed. At that time nobody can apply brakes and they cannot control. The balance is uncontrollable. And they just, take over so this is a human error where yes, I have a few of here. They were all supposed to be killed. By the time the people, those who used to feed, they were threatened, and they were already threatened and warned by those some people, those who didn't like the animals to be there on the street. Either you take them away, keep it in your home, but don't leave on the streets. We are going to poison them. There are so many, and there were few dogs, those who were hit by the rods and all. That is there. Its name is Puppy. Hit by rods and their legs were broken. Now he's able to walk. He's able to move around. So such kind of cases keep happening here. People are there. See, when they come to cruelty, they cross all the limits. They go to any extent of killing them. By together in a group, they poison them, mixing that poison in a biryani because they are hungry. They see there's a food lying over there, it's a biryani. And they don't know it is meant to kill us. They eat, and together there are many cases happened here in Bangalore itself. Very many. One woman who could not tolerate the puppies crying in the night, she had thrown those 5 to 6 puppies from the 5th floor of our building down. And instantly all those puppies were killed. And the mother sat there near her puppies and she was crying. A woman whom we call, very gentle, very soft soul, and she has the pain. Such kind of woman can do. So this is really, these kind of things are happening. First of all, I never accept people to bring a healthy dog, put them in a shelter. I always tell them, shelter is meant for only those who are uh, completely helpless. They need somebody to care them. Those who are not able to walk, those who are not able to see. We had blind dogs also, which passed away last year only. They were quite old. They had a natural death. So, healthy dogs, they have their own freedom life on the streets, on the places where they live. They are brought up from there, they grow up, they live there only. They like to have companions, their own friend circles, they live like we humans need, such kind of. Until unless they are helpless, paralyzed, handicapped, or they need to take it until unless. So I did. No, I have. I had gone to one or two schools also, where as soon as they came to know I'm going to give some education on how to handle the dogs, stray dogs, and how to be caring and loving towards them. The administrations of the school or college were very happy and they welcomed me. They said, yes, we needed this kind of education. Uh, the kids should know what exactly, because they have the fear in them as they were brought up by their parents and all. It makes a lot of sense because kids, the small little kids or the grown-ups or whatever they are, the young generations also, whatever is taught to them, they take it very, seriously, these kind of things. And when they come to know that these dogs are never harmful to humans until unless it comes to them, beating them or until. And there was an impact.
So, now knowing these dogs that live in our street are always in peril, whether it comes from outside forces or by the hands of someone that does not want them in their society, we should come to the realization that these dogs do need our help, as they have been stepped on for too long now. And the hope with this documentary is to open up people's hearts so that they might treat these animals the same way that they would treat a loved one. Thank you.